Hi guys, Bubarti here brings you more Keitai Denjuu Telefang, aka fake Pokemon Diamond. For the moment this is the game I would like to finish, so pretty much all my focus will be put towards this. In this village, Ban's village, if I'm not mistaken, all villagers and monsters have disappeared, aside from the monsters you can meet on a random encounter. And well, we don't know how it happened, but someone appeared and then all of a sudden everyone disappeared day by day. Or day for day, pretty much. So in order to learn about this, we have to go to the middle of it all. Right here. The kidnapper himself. Or herself, I don't really know. So we would like to fight this monster in order to bring everyone back. However, he disagrees. Mainly because we have to go through a maze. And the names you saw there is the order in which we have to go through before we will be allowed entrance. Here's Goomy. And the pattern is different if you're playing power or speed version. But the patterning is consistent in both those two games, so if you've seen it once, you always know which one. However, you don't know what the house is, you know, the first time, and that's pretty much what you're observing here. So once you go into the last house, shit will get serious. And he's joking at the wrong time. So this place is a maze. So before you can do anything, you have to find a key. So you take the right here, move all the way down, and then go all the way up. Now this is a mandatory battle, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the key. And if you die here, well, it's a game over. Or at least it was when I first failed. Geiwurus, you should know this at least, is that his needle attack can paralyze you. And that's pretty much the only useful move or status effect in this game. Because you can stay paralyzed for a long time, and the instant you're not paralyzed anymore, Geiwurus will get another attack. Ain't that just joyous? So you defeat the beast, get the key, and now you will have to find, well, the door. So you're going down here, take the right, move up, to then take the left, then you go to the down left, get a random encounter, go over here, take the right one, and then move all the way up here. Go all the way down, and there you are. So now comes the boss battle. This shall decide the fate of all the villagers who has been kidnapped and butt raped and butt plucked and anal probed. Pretty much. Saiope was called Saiope. It's aquatic. What else do you want to know about it? And even though he's like 15 levels up, he deals barely any damage at all. Of course, had the roles been reversed, this would have sucked. A lot. And there you are. That's how simple that is. And we got level 38. Now our dear friend is angry. So now we're wondering what the hell is going on. And he made a favor or deal. I think deal was correct in the Japanese one. About taking everyone away so they wouldn't disturb the antenna tree. And the name man from Saiope asked him to do it, or forced him really, as far as I could tell. And well, he will release the villagers, I think so. And well, we promised not to tell anyone. So now we go back. We get a phone call about a pizza place. Or not a pizza place. And if we are, I'm fucking annoyed. Because then I've had pizza all along and I didn't eat it. And we get angry. Third time's the charm, you know. Well, big surprise, it's Sunki. Well, whatever. Either way, there's something wrong. What he says is not at all important. And well, we now have to go through the antenna tree here. So you go in here, and now you're back in Alice. So you head all the way down here, take a right, and then move up. Right up here you find a cave and you go in there. And then you're in some village, which name I've actually forgotten. Again. So in order to progress here we need to speak to this person. And apparently they thank God even though there are so many monsters around. I just hope he's not Christian or Nazi. Well, Nazi would not make any sense, but whatever. The antenna tree has grown out of control, he was forced to do it. And... big surprise, Sanarpa again. He has no clue what the heck's going on, but he wants to restore the antenna tree and thereby gives us the injector in order to do so. So this is the first time we will be able to enter an antenna tree actually, or at least see what it's all about. So yeah. I originally wanted to show you guys what it means to evolve by item, but they didn't give me the right option here, so maybe another time, maybe another time. Nonetheless, when you approach the tree here, choose the yes option, and you want to grind a little bit here. Once you're level 40, you will, well, you pretty much guessed it, evolve. So Cryptorite evolves into Crypto Burn, and I grinded until I was level 42. Now I have two options here, level 2, evolve at level 60 or evolve with an item. And of course, what's the difference there? Well, if I evolve by item, I will have -1 in max stat than if I had evolved at level 60. And since I need all the stats I can get for the final boss, I will have to wait until level 60. And we escaped 2 battles in a row, yay. But also because Crypto Burn's evolution at level 60 has an awesome name. But you'll see more about that later. And a third time. Imagine my surprise when that happened while recording. Something like that never ever happens. Oh well. Now if you step on the green areas here, you'll fall down to the next level. And they'll pretty much destroy the reason or movement we've already made. And I also thought that was a handbag, but apparently it's a flat iron. Now these battles you cannot escape, unlike those back in the facility. So I'm forced to show these, or at least I feel I do. Geiwurus was called Gaiurus and is the evolved form of Yakubu, if that was the name. I believe it evolves at level 28 and... well... it's decent when you fight it, but I find it unreliable when I use it, so... If you want to, you can, but it has less stats than your, well, main monster if you use Curry Boot. So, you might want to take that into consideration. And then a microwave that they call range. Or maybe it's just a deformed Game Boy, who knows. And another random battle, which we escaped from masterfully. You'd almost think you're a ninja by now. And another battle we can't escape. Bubarti was called Bouvardi. If you can pick up one throughout the time you spend in this dungeon, it will be very useful in the boss battle. So that I will definitely recommend. Simply because the boss battle this time is very, very cruel. But you'll see a lot more about that. Nonetheless, we destroy our enemy here. And well, that is that. It now allows us to move on. Okay, pick up the blender here, in case we knock out our teeth and can't, well, chew food anymore. Get bothered by annoying phone calls, and then move on. It's pretty consistent whenever I record, it seems. Almost like there's a step counter or something, but I'm not going to talk as if I know exactly about it. And yes, if you can actually fall down if you move into the black area. Yeah. Moving on here, we get another battle we can't escape. So Medter was called Medter, is the evolved form of Telerope. If that were, I really can't remember the names anymore. I suggest you pick up one here for the boss battle, or before the boss battle. While it's not useful for fighting, it has a different reason, and it will actually make the boss battle a lot easier. Not that it is super effective against it, but it's for a whole different reason, really. Now this Gaiurus is level 40. And unlike the others, if it actually uses speed or increases its speed, it will actually get another attack, unlike the others. However, I believe that is cancelled out if you're level 43. I haven't tested that, but being level 42 at this point is sufficient, so no problem there. And talking about level 43. So, there's not that long to go still, but there's a tricky puzzle before we reach the boss, and if you screw up on that one, you'll get punished a lot. Or at least compared to the other one. So, we fight another Medter. And this is pretty much all you need to know. You're super effective against it if you use Curry Boot. And as a result, they get destroyed rather easily. We should be by the next floor very soon at this point. Escape from another battle, like a ninja. So you move up through here, and then you get your last mandatory battle here. Another Gaiurus. Ain't that just lucky? Well, not really. This one is weak, however, and I'm not sure if it's just because of my level or something else. But that just so happens to be the case. And like I said, even if they use speed, they will not outspeed you or get any extra turns, so there's really no difference to that. And now we can move on. And there's the stairs. Now you're at the tricky puzzle. So in order to not get punished, take number 2 here, then take number 3. If you take number 1, you get treasure, but are then punished. Then you take number 1, move down to number 3, get random shit. And then you take the top one here, and then you found the stairs. Now the path is pretty much clear to the boss room. Unless you get random encounters. Now save before the boss battle. This is the most sadistic one, or one of them at least. The final boss is worse, or at least I think so, but there is one that's even worse. So after we use the injector, you're going to see the monster later that they've been trying to get to. At least in order to control the electric monsters world. That's how I understand it, at least. Dipusaks is, well, it's close to its name, but it's called Dipsacus. Now you choose Medter and Bouvardi for this battle, and they have their use. Dipusaks is super effective towards you, so you have to use 1 diverge. That will mean you can now deal at least 20 points of damage. Now the big thing here is if you use Hypnotic on a monster that's charging, it will deny that charge. Of course, if he decided to recharge, it will start from the point you're seeing there, but for now, he won't be charging at all. Also, using powder on Crypto Burn, it will basically halve the amount of damage that Dipsacus is able to deal to you. So each time you use powder, the damage is halved. So basically there's nothing it can do after using a few of them. Now there's no point here in not using Hypnotic, so just keep spamming that away. And also keep spamming powder. You could keep using Diverge a few times if you want to, but I just felt that dealing at least 20 points of damage would be the most sufficient way of doing this. Now if I had not used powder, he would have taken away more than half my health. So you can definitely see here that it works, and that you should really pay attention to it. So you keep spamming away powder, yada yada. And I will really have nothing to say, so I'll just let this run out. One sadistic boss battle down. About 2 more to come, but there's a little time before we reach those, so for now there's not much to worry about. Either way, we apparently shouldn't have told our name, but I don't think there's any strike against us. So Boundary decides to show up again. It seems very random. And you might be wondering, another battle? No, thankfully not. I'm not even sure we get to fight him ever again, but we will be seeing him again. And I will not tell you why, because you will be seeing that, but there's a reason. And apparently the tree is supposed to look normal again. Okay, so we now go back to tell about our great victory, without even getting a single reward. What an asshole. And nothing important is even said here. So as far as I'm concerned, there's about 3 or 4 dungeons left, and that includes the final boss, so we're getting close to finishing this game. And I will pretty much dedicate the rest of this night to finish that. But either way, see you for the next part, peace out.